to 23 countries, including the U.S. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, congratulations.
Yeah.
I will tell
Good
you that.
evening and
And good luck
welcome.
on your life.
My name is Bob Pace. I'm your host. And right now we're going to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I want to welcome you all. I just got off the phone with a person on the phone that I was talking to for 15 minutes. I also try to help out people get Mr. Davis as their attorney. So it's a warm welcome. And you're here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. And again, I'm your host, Bob Pace. And it's a warm welcome. You're probably saying, wait a minute. It's only 5 o'clock. You're ahead by 2 hours. The reason why I'm ahead is that I have a family commitment. There are times, and I mentioned that to me in the morning show, that I'd be on earlier. And I just got the authorization. I'm sorry it was late. But normally I'm on every day at 10 a.m. in the morning on the weekdays, on the weekends at 8 a.m. And then on the evenings, I'm on at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. at night. And that is the times that I'm on. And I do want to help you with your case. It's a warm welcome. It's a warm, warm, warm welcome. And I am. I'm sorry, just a second. There's a question being asked. Excuse, I'm going to turn my mic off and not leaving the. I apologize. I changed the show not purposely, but I changed the show time so that I could go to a commitment, and it's. I also take care of my family. I have to feed them with a meal, and I'm the provider and the cook and the bottle washer, and so I do all those things. And I guess that my other half is so supportive. She loves me so much. That's why she's been with me for 32 years. Um, anyway, I love my wife dearly. This is not to talk about families. Our family was upset by a very tragic thing that you're involved with. It's something called the Child Protection System. CPS, I call the Child Protection System. Yes, there's the Child Protection Services, Department of Children's Services, Department of Children and Family Services, the Cabinet, etc., etc. There's over 500 different names that CPS has out there. It's just too hard to do it that way. So I call it the Child Protection System. The government entity created this system in 1962. They directed social services to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Protect our children from neglect and abuse. And that being said, um, um, they're also supposed to do something called family reunification. I think they forgot about the family reunification because so many of you, and I've talked to over 1,600 people worldwide, 23 countries, including the U.S. And of those 23 countries, of over 1,600 people, They have something in common. They needlessly took your children that weren't in danger because you're poor or low income. They are penalizing you. They are punishing you. They're supposed to support you. This is what CPS was founded on. Support the families, to help the families. Social services is mandated to provide low-income people with food, housing, clothing, medical, transportation, and even help you get a job. Right now, McDonald's is hiring on additional 30,000 people, and they start their people at $22 an hour. $22 an hour at McDonald's. And one of the reasons they say it is because our prices are too high. They rose their prices offset. So it's terrible. Did you know that by paying for $10 hamburgers, you have to pay for a $22 employee? So the employee that makes 22, can afford a $10 hamburger. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what our money has become. And it's really sad for you guys out there. I know what you're going through. Anyway, I'm not trying to, I'm here to help you all. You're in a very difficult situation. And I do this twice a day because I'm hoping I reach out and touch somebody. I really do. As I say, I've been doing this for 19 months. And I've talked to these countries and all the states in the United States that have really gone through a lot. I have recently talked to South Africa today. South Africa was on my morning show. She's been on my morning show off and on. I'm the only family member she's got that she can talk to. She calls me Uncle Bob, and she calls this room her family because she's so bad with her case. Her intestines are coming out, she says, and so forth. And it's really, really, really hard on people and stuff. Good evening, my son. My son just came home from working really hard all day. And he was caught up, just like we all were. Our whole family was bashed and hung out to dry for 3 years. Actually, it was for 5 years because the call-ins and the complaints against our family started in 2010. And for 5 years, these lay people who we did not know at the time were my wife's mother and father and 3 sisters and her 2 brothers. Her 2 sisters. I'm confused now. I'm sorry. It's sometimes when you have distractions, it gets you kind of lost there. But anyway, our case was horrible. Now, I'm broadcasting live. And as I say, I was talking to these countries. These countries are Indonesia, Bangladesh, India. They're from the Middle East. And there's Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then we go over to the country of Africa, which, has many countries within it. We have Liberia in the northwest part of Africa. We have Sudan on the east end of Africa up towards the Red Sea. Then we have the newest country is Republic of Congo on the central part of California on the west coast. Then we go to Rwanda near Lake Victoria on the east side, and then down to Mozambique across from Madagascar. And then we go to the provinces of South Africa. And Laika, I think, is from the northwest province. There are 9 provinces in South Africa. The one I'm familiar is called the Western Cape. And she's from the northwest. Anyway, she has a horrible case. And then we go up to Europe, to England, Scotland, and Wales, and also Denmark and Sweden. And I was so torn apart by a lady who was from her garage trying to talk to, about her case. She was so emotional. And then we go across the pond to North America, and we go to the country up at the north there, which is called the Canada. And there are see, 3-9. 13 provinces in Canada, and the ones that we were hearing from, and we had people call in, were from Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and who am I leaving out? British Columbia, I think, is on the west side, British Columbia. And so we've had Canada, and then we've had all 50 states, including the District of Columbia, where the White House is located and the Capitol, Congress is located. Then we go south of the border to Mexico. And then we go further south to South America, north of Brazil, we go to Grenada on the east coast. And then we go across the Pacific to New Zealand. And I've had several people in New Zealand, and one was a Maori, who's the native people, the indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maoris, sometimes referred to as the All Blacks. And I can't forget the Native American Indians in the United States are the First Nation Indians in Canada. They were the first immigrants to settle in North America, long before the Vikings came. And then after the Vikings came other people, came the Spanish, and it came the English, and the Dutch, and the German, and the French. And then it came the Spanish and the Portuguese. And all these people came over to settle in the New World. And then I can't forget the land down under, Australia, and the state of Victoria and Queensland. I've had people from there. So I've had a diverse group of people, and they've all called in to called in or text in about their CPS. Australia has some of the worst child protection cases. And it's sad. It really is sad because there is child abuse. Child abuse has existed in our country for a long time. For a long time. It's been lasting for 425 years. 425 years. In the 1600s, we had child abuse. There are cases there. In fact, the history of aiding children or the welfare of children is divided into 3 parts. That's how it's defined by CPS. The first part is from 1600 to 1875, and from 1875 to 1962, and from 1962 is to the present. And in 1875, there were 2 things going on. There was a society, the New York societies, that had a lot of money to decide to help out children. So there were cases. Hold on 1 second, please. Apologize from the bottom of my heart for the interruption. Some of my family members are immature. You think that they're old enough to know better, but they don't make sense. They don't realize that sometimes the breadwinner has to work and earn a living. And a lot of people have a hard time with understanding that someone has to pay the bills. And for them, sometimes I've spoiled them, is what I've done. I've spoiled my family. I have a family of 6 children, and 4 of them are not with me right now. I know that 2 of them are doing quite well in life. One is my oldest son, who's in his 40s, and he has a young family himself. Then there's my daughter in her 30s, and she's having a young family too, and she's doing good. She's a teacher at a university. And so anyway, I have another daughter. I actually have two other daughters. One is in her 30s. She's my firstborn. And unfortunately, I had to go through another marriage. My first marriage lasted 10 years. My next marriage has lasted 32. So I have 42 years of marriage experience. I certainly don't want to lose my first wife. I don't want to lose my second wife. I love my children. I love my family dearly. But my firstborn, I've not seen her since she was 3 years old. She's 36 now, and I keep hoping one day I'll see her. But unfortunately, things don't work out in life, like all of you are probably experiencing or also know. I know it's early, and I know that sometimes people have other things to do and other things to chase around. But this is real show. This is real live stream, and it's being broadcast from my humble little home here that I'm trying to hang on to. Now, there is a number on my screen that you see, that 888-888-6582. That's the number of the office of where my attorney works. That's Mr. Vincent W. Davis. And if you want to call in and talk to him, you can. It's 888-888-6582. You reach reception, and make sure you tell reception that Bob Pace sent you. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, you say the same thing, that Bob Pace sent you. Now, Vincent Davis is on my screen in the upper left-hand corner. It says Attorney Vincent Davis, and it's Attorney Vincent VWP. That's the stand store. I think I have to blow that up to think that is. Yeah. He has a website called the Stand Store. That's not the complete website, because you still got to put https://www.stand.store/attorney VWD. That is a website that has lots of information, but that is a picture of my attorney, and that's pretty much what he looks like today. He's a very wise person. And hi, Daniel. And it's so good to see you. I'm on early tonight, Daniel, because I have a commitment at 7 o'clock tonight that I'll have to partake at. And so I'm glad to see you found me. And hello, Kalina, maybe. Can you answer? I would love to answer a question for you, Kalina, maybe. If you could do one thing for me. If you could tell me where you are located at. Because if you're going to text me a message, it's got to be in a form of a comment or a question, and it should pertain to CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning until where you're at the moment. So let me see the question that you have for me, Kalina. I spoke to you last week. I'm from San Bernardino County. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I'm glad you came back again. And Danielle, it's always so good to see you. How are you and your son doing? Have you finished the guardianship? Are you a guardianship of your son and your brother? Are those two things still going on, Danielle? Danielle used to be a host here on my live stream, and she's from Georgia. She's from Georgia. A wonderful mom who's taking care of her special needs brother and her special needs son. Can I call in? You certainly can. Let me shift this really quick. Let me put up the other thing I need to show. If you're going to be a guest on my show, and I'd like you to do so, please send me your email, attention to grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's my show producer, Grace. I want to thank her for what she does. And all you do is send the day and the time So it's one of my 14 shows, and it's either evening or morning, either Monday through Sunday. And it's like, I want to be Bob's Sunday evening show or Bob's Friday morning show or Bob's Wednesday show. You just tell her, and she'll send you a link that'll get you to what's called StreamYard. It'll automatically load you onto a YouTube room. Now, tonight, the YouTube room is Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. That's the name of the room. You found me on Facebook, Fight CPS, and I'm glad that you're here right now. And so just email her, Grace at VincentWDavis.com. She'll give you the link. If you get knocked off, reuse the link again. And she'll tell you certain things, the rule, like we have no eating or smoking during the room, and we don't use first names of people. We just don't like to use any kind of name, to be honest with you. No names of children or judges or social workers. And she will help you with your video and audio. Now, I'm going to put up my phone number right now so that we have our listener from San Bernardino can call me. That number is live. It's 626-698-0990. And you're welcome to call in on that number, and I'll gladly talk to you about your case. On that. I just want to make sure it is there. Okay. My phone is live. And so the person from San Bernardino, Colina, maybe you can call. You're welcome to go ahead and call. There she goes. Right on cue. Good evening. And this is Bob Pace on the CPS live stream. How can I help you?
Hi, this is Colina, maybe.
Yes.
Hi. So I was calling. It was too much to type. I apologize.
That's okay.
So this is actually not my case. It's my family though. But so there's 5 kids. They were under 2 different cases with CPS. 2 of them were under one, and then they opened another case when they found out that my mom had guardianship of 2 of my sister's other kids. And so they opened another case, and they came, and after approving my mom to foster kids, 2 days later, they came and removed all 5 kids. Okay? We went to court.
Now stop a second. You said your sister kids. Are you a sister of a sister, or are you the mom of those 5 kids?
I'm their auntie. I'm the auntie.
Okay. So you are the aunt, or you're an older sister then of your sister's
I'm the
kids.
Sister,
Yeah.
actually, but,
yeah. You're the youngest sister. Okay. So you're the auntie, and you're calling on behalf of your sister and your mom. And your mom adopted 2 of the children, the young ones first, and then
she had guardianship of them since they were like babies.
Right. And then there's 3 more children that your sister was having a hard time taking care of.
Well, they were all living under my mom's roof.
Oh, so your sister, did she have these children by the same father or multiple fathers?
Multiple fathers.
Okay.
So, but what happened though is that she had a new child, and who's now 1. But when she had her, the hospital had inconclusive positive drug tests for her, but not for the baby. But it was due to a medication that the hospital she got transferred from gave her.
Right.
And so she didn't have the records. She had an issue getting the records in a timely manner to prove that. Well, the CPS worker that tried to take her kid, or I should say that took her kid before, because she's lost 2 kids to CPS, like permanently. And the same CPS worker came back, and I don't know how she even found out anything, but she came back, she called my sister, she said, "Remember me?" And that's where we are. You know, we ended up here. When my mom was fighting to get the 2 kids that they had a case on, which was the baby and 15-year-old, and they started asking my mom about the kids that were in the home with those kids, and she was like, "Those kids I have guardianship of, you don't need to worry about them." And she's like, "I could do whatever I want, you know." And
Well,
so
you have to
the
understand
next
the
day,
biggest mistake that you all are doing, and that's the mistake that I made and other people do, is talking to social workers.
we
You
learned
have
that. Yeah,
you
we
have to
learned
learn
that.
never to talk to them without an attorney present. Never
We
talk to
learned
them.
that.
Yeah.
We were very ignorant when it came to that, and we had no idea what the heck we were getting ourselves into. So we have my mom's got a lawyer. She has a lawyer, good lawyer, and you know we're fighting and stuff. But the last court hearing, they took the oldest child off of one case and put him onto the other case. Or well, they didn't even necessarily put him onto the other case. They kind of made him on his own case because they were returning those two kids to my mom. So she got those two kids back. They had the foster family, which is actually a family of ours, but they've kind of turned on us. They said they don't want the oldest with them no more, so they kicked him out basically. So CFS had nowhere to send him, so they allowed him to come to our home and be here with us. And so he's been here with us the last 10 days. Yesterday they showed up. They took him. They said they had nowhere to place him. He slept in the office, the CFS office. He went to school today. He got picked up. He was told that they have nowhere to put him, so he's having to stay in the CFS office all weekend. He hasn't had a shower or nothing, and they're just leaving him in this office. He sent me a video of him being left in the car while they were walking off from the car going into the store. And I don't know how to handle this because he wants to run away. And I'm trying.
Okay.
Do that.
Let's stop for a moment here because there's some loose ends I need to wrap up here. You had two babies that were that your mother adopted from your sister. She had guardianship of them.
Well, she didn't adopt them. She had guardianship.
I'm sorry, she had guardianship. I probably said the wrong words, but she had guardianship of the two babies. Then your sister decided to make more babies. So she had 3 more babies, or she had 2 more?
Well, no, the 2 are older than the other 2.
Well, I know that they're different sets. The oldest one, I think, is 15, you said, right?
No, the oldest is 17 and a half, and he just signed papers to go into the military. That's the one that they took. Yes.
Oh, no, they can't do that because he's 18. He'll be in the military.
He's not 18. He's 17 and a half.
No, he will be 18 when he gets inducted.
Right.
And so they can't interfere with the government. Oh, boy. If CPS is stupid enough to interfere with the United States, what branch of service is he going in?
The Marines.
Wow, that's the word. CPS can't touch him. He's a Marine. He has his signature from his mother, right? Your sister.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Your sister said he's okay to join the Marines at 17 and a half, right?
She went and they signed the papers, but he don't join until he's a junior right now. So he's going to finish his high school.
All right.
And then he goes.
Right.
So he's got 1 more year.
Right. And so why is CPS, what did your sister do? Or, okay, who is the person that had your 17 and a half year old, what do you call them, nieces? Are they called nieces? Or what do you call them?
My
nephew.
Nieces, yeah.
All right, nephew. Okay, I guess nephew for boy, nieces for girl. Okay,
yeah.
What did your mother do that prompted the nephew to be taken from her?
So there was a social worker. The social worker that was on the case in the beginning, he had told me that I was okay to supervise visits between the children and my sister because they were supposed to be supervised. So I was supervising visits, okay? And the same worker told her she had to take parenting classes at a facility. So I was meeting her at the parenting classes. I had asked if the teacher of the parenting classes had told her that she can bring her child. So I asked the teacher if, she was authorized for me to hand over care to her, allowing her to supervise the visit, which was my mistake. I should have ran it through CPS, but I didn't because I figured they were the ones that, they sent us to these people or my sister to these people, so The teacher said it was fine, so I would meet her at the classes with the child, with my niece, and I would take my niece into the class, or outside the door anyway, and then making sure the teacher was there, and I would let her do her class. I'd wait outside and take my niece home.
What about the nephew? What was
apparently,
doing with the nephew? I know you about your nieces now. What about the nephew?
No, this is all over the 1-year-old being unsupervised at a visit at the parenting class. They took all 5 kids because of that. They said that my mom felt that she neglected the children because she let my sister have an unsupervised visit, which wasn't even my mom that did it. It was.
Why is the supervision required? What is so bad that your sister's doing to those children? What is she accused of?
It was because of her. Well, she has a record of substance abuse, but
that is not necessary to put children into foster care. By the way, they are stretching the law. They are breaking the law. And the problem is you guys are trying to do this probably either pro se, meaning you're trying to be your own attorney, or you're using a court-appointed attorney, correct?
No, we paid my mom paid $10,000 for a CPS.
Well, my attorney right now for LA County is $5,000 retainer, and San Bernardino's not that far. So I think, let me check my prices here for San Bernardino. Hold on 1 second. I got to find that. That's going to be a little hard to do. So let me see here.
Well, I did call your office and schedule a free consultation.
Well, you, by calling on the phone, get a free consultation. Did I not set that up with you?
It was set up, but I think I don't know what happened, but I got the
Well, you can get it again because you called in. You'll get it again. Get it again.
Cool.
Every time you call in or you guest my show, you get a free 15-minute private one-on-one consultation with Mr. Davis. Some people do that purposely to talk to him 3 times for a total of 45 minutes.
So I have a question. Like, as an aunt, I know I don't have any,
you're part of what's called kinship, and there's a new law passed that gives kinship to all family members, not just the mom and dad. I have some new information. I don't know if you heard me read about it, but there's a law that was changed in January that was hidden from everybody. Biden signed it on a Saturday. News media never found out about it. Now it's starting to surface. And there are changes they made to the child welfare system. And that affects CPS. It affects let me go. I'll get there. It'll take me a while here to go through all the text messages. He and I do a lot of texting back and forth. That's how I communicate with him. I do talk to him too from time to time. But he gave me some special rates here. So I just saw his retainer for helping someone in Georgia. But he did give me a price for San Bernardino County and LA County. Okay, here it goes. Bakersfield. Oh, Georgia's the same price there. Wow.
San Bernardino County is actually being sued right now.
What attorney's being sued?
No, San Bernardino County Child Family Services they're in an active lawsuit. They're being sued for failure to protect children in their care.
I believe it. By who? By Vincent Davis?
No, it's called, I told you about it last time. It's called A Better Childhood.
A Better Childhood. I think I remember you talking about that. Yes.
And they've deemed it too broken to fix. They want to scrap everyone and start fresh.
Oh boy, it's that broken, huh?
Yeah. They're putting kids with families that don't speak the same language. They're putting kids with known sex offenders. It's crazy.
Yeah.
My nephew's sleeping in a CFS office with no shower, no nothing. You know what I mean? And they're okay with that,
Well, no, and he's already made a commitment to his future right now, and CPS is ruining that future. That kid is going
yeah.
to be so messed up at 17 and a half. He's not. How old are you, by the way, Auntie? How old
I'm
are you?
So
You're 36. Yeah.
30.
Yeah. Here's a kid who's 17 and a half years old who his mother and him have signed a commitment to the United States Marine as soon as she finishes high school. And CPS has rounded up the 15-year-old and making him sleep in their office in San Bernardino County.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That is totally wrong. That is totally
Yeah.
wrong.
And you know what's even more messed up about it? You know what position he wants to be in the Marines? He wants to be front line.
Oh boy, he wants to be a infantry. It's called infantry,
Yep, that's what he signed up for.
and he is signing up to be the first in when there's
he'll be the
any
first one
kind of
shot.
action, because the Marines always
Yep,
go in
sure.
first.
He'll be the first one
The
shot.
ships and the airplanes will bomb the country or bomb the sites, but things have changed right now.
No,
If
we're
we're
going into
into a
World
World
War
War III, it'll be a nuclear war, and then as soon as someone fires on one nuclear
No, well,
weapon,
not.
the world is gone. It's
No,
end.
it's not.
So we don't
Right.
know. We don't have any. No one has a crystal ball that can predict that. No one can. And
And they asked him, why he wanted to join, and they said most of the time, kids say the money or stability or whatever. His answer was, I want to be the reason that people get to come home to their families. That was his answer.
what does that interpretate to mean?
Like, he wants to help other soldiers make it home.
Oh, that's nice. He wants to protect them. All right, that is
Yeah.
that is
You know,
good.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid
It
in
needs
a
to be done.
jacked up system.
Already
Yeah,
know
I'm
that.
sorry about the interference right now. I'm trying to do this privately from my home, and I have family members around here. I'm looking for. I know for LA County is 5,000, and I had a quote here for something else in San Bernardino. I just saw it here. Let me see here.
Wow.
But anyway, I don't want to take up too much time here. But what I want to tell you is that what they're doing is wrong, and you need to get that attorney. I can't believe you get a retainer of $10,000. What kind of attorney is this?
He's a CFS attorney.
What is a CFS attorney?
He's a family law, I think, but he deals with CPS, and he's done a great job. He got 2 of them home so far.
Okay. Okay, let me explain
but-
to you.
He's not my
The
lawyer,
thing is,
so-
if you have to ask him, very important, since you paid this guy $15,000, ask him if he's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. It isn't only about
he is.
family law. It's above how to deal with juveniles, how to deal with family, and how to fight in dependency court, because that's what CPS fights in. And then on top of that,
Yeah, that's what,
has he ever sued CPS and won money against them? Because that is the golden egg. That's the golden egg.
that's
Because
what I wanted to ask.
Vincent,
Do I have
go
any
ahead.
kind of position to sue CPS on
You
my
can't
own?
sue CPS until the case is done. Because all it's
No,
going
but
to
I'm
do
saying, like,
is
me
make
as
your
the answer,
case. You can sue, anybody can sue CPS, but it's going to cost money. It isn't free.
That's fine. I understand that.
I mean, you can
I
sue
can't see
CPS
that. These
for
people-
$30 million, but it's going to probably cost you $50,000.
Right.
I mean, I'm
understand
trying
that.
to tell you that. I mean, you'll get your money, 29,000. What is it? $950,000 you'll get in your settlement, but you're going to have to give up $50,000 as a retainer, because I had a case against CPS that would have brought Orange County to its knees. I had a social worker that committed perjury and lied on the witness stand, and then retaliated and forced my daughter to emancipate from her parents and her family, and to change her name completely, and to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, a new social security card, double dip from my retirement plan, and be adopted by a foster care parent. I had a good lawsuit, but I didn't have $50,000 because it took me over $150,000 to get my boys back because I had a real bad CPS case. I tried to fight them pro se. I tried to use their court-appointed attorneys and public defenders. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of time.
Right.
Because the court is like a jungle, what do you call it? Kangaroo court. It's a kangaroo court where the judge is palsy-walsy with the CPS, and the CPS attorneys are palsy-walsy with the social workers. Everybody's palsy-walsy. And then the court-appointed attorneys, the one for the children, each children, one for the parent, one each parent. If you can imagine 5 court-appointed attorneys. They are just.
Is there so many people?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I'm not allowed to go in the courtroom. All I can do is watch who goes in and who comes out.
Oh, no, I got to go in.
No.
But the judge is so confused because there's 2 different cases and they're throwing kids around case to case. Like, it's a big mess, you know? And
well, the judges, my judges,
yeah,
my judge didn't have any experience in dependency law. He had no experience in family reunification. He only knew about was more auto claims and auto collision accidents. That's all he had his experience with everything. And he went to golf with the attorneys and had lunch with them and everything. And CPS pays for the court-appointed attorneys. So if you have an attorney and you paid him a $10,000 retainer, you can get Mr. Davis for cheaper than that. And I know he's a pit bull of attorney. And he will turn your case around and win your case. But it sounds like your guy is helping a little bit. But it should be a quick thing that he has that son ordered to stay home. He can file a 388 motion and get a court hearing by the judge. The judge has to answer that within 30 days. And they have to have a court hearing on new information. And it's wrong to put the child in. Because a parent takes drugs does not make it necessary endangerment to the kids.
Right.
You know, if
she don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, well, if she doesn't do that, it's like that. If she's taking a program, a drug program, which lasts usually about 52 weeks, it's a year-long program. Same as domestic violence is a year-long program. Then,
so her daughter, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Her daughter is a 15-year-old. They're coaching, they're brainwashing her, and now she said she doesn't want to come home. And so CFS said that my sister cannot have any visits with her. My sister said, I want family therapy. They said only if she requests it. She's like, but how can she request? How can I tell her anything if I can't even talk to her or see her?
Yeah.
So they cut off all ties to her daughter, and because they're brainwashing her.
Well, the thing is, behind the scenes, yeah, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. There's money being exchanged. It's $1 trillion business. San Bernardino County is very corrupt, and they're making trillions of dollars off kids because every time they have a case open, the money flows in like it's liquid oil. It flows in so freely. It's money flows from the federal government to the state and from the state to the county. There's no check and balances. There's no one watching the oil go. It's like a broken hose line. And long as they get a number, and when they call the state and get a number, then that child automatically gets, not the child, but the CPS agency that has the child gets a $20,000 per child. And if it's a special needs, it's additional $10,000 more. You know, it's so sad. I have figures of money, but I have to use a calculator, a cost of living calculator to equate it. But it's really terrible. It's all about money and power. And these agencies are really, really bad. So what you're telling me about that 17, there's no reason because she tested positive that affected child. And if you should be able to, I mean, why can't the child be placed with you? What drugs are you taking? What drugs are your mother taking? What is your mother taking? Because what they're saying, next of kin. So your mother and you should take on that 15-year-old if you could. I don't know if you can or not.
We had all 5 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then what is the reason for you guys? What is the reason for you guys? I understand about your sister and your mother's child. I understand because she did drugs.
Mhm.
They're doing it, but why are they taking away from your mother? What has your mother
They
done?
said she neglected
What has you
care.
done?
They said that we neglected care by letting my sister have an unsupervised visit. See, the CPS worker that authorized me to supervise visits got fired. And so they said, well, he don't work for us no more. And I'm like, well, how is that our fault? Like, if he gave us wrong instructions, how is that my fault?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have a corrupt CPS that you're probably going to have to go to the director. I don't know if you talked to the director of San Bernardino Child Protection System.
How do I figure out who that is?
Oh, I can tell you real quickly. It's just easy. It's just a lot of people don't know the format for looking up CPS.
I have no idea.
You start off with San Bernardino, and then you put in California, California, and then you put in the letters CPS, and then you put down the director. And let's see what it says. Alan Rand, R-A-N-D, is director of San Bernardino County Children and Family Services. And his phone number is 909-388-0242. And that will take you to the Children of Family Services, CFS is what you call your people. I just say it's CPS because I'm talking to everybody that has a child protection system with a different name.
Right.
You know, so that's why I call it Child Protection System. Yeah. So it has a lot of information right now when I looked it up. It says how to report child abuse, how to report, family services. It tells you all the things in there. Demand due process for payments fighting against CPS. The director of San Bernardino County Family Service, along with relative county supervisors, Judge Stevens, San Bernardino. One of this is the lawsuit. Huh? What is it?
So even when they opened the second case on the kids that she had guardianship of, it was a different worker. That worker has to report to the worker of the kids, the original case.
That's right.
How is that?
That worker.
But she's not even on that case.
Well, what do you mean? She's been replaced?
No. So like the first case that we were dealing with just the two kids, it was one worker, right? The worker that knows my sister from the past, okay? And then when they opened a new case on the kids my mom had guardianship of, because that worker found out she had other kids here, and then she said, she could do whatever she wants. She's above the law. And so she sent somebody out. They investigated, came back that night, and took all the kids. And the worker on that case that they opened that day, whenever I talked to her, she's like, okay, well, I don't see a problem with it, but I have to run it by so-and-so, which is the worker on the first case.
Well, that's because she didn't expunge her first case. You see, a lot of people forget the mistake. When you fight and you get your kids back, you should ask for it to be expunged from your records. What's so sad, and a lot of people don't know this, is that when they do the investigation, they write letters and information and send it off to a database. So if you're in foster care as a child all your life, when you grow up as an adult, it'll work against you, and they'll take away your children that you have because they know how easy it is to fight you. I have a case of a woman called Faye Manley that is in Kentucky, Richmond, Kentucky, who all her life, her mom couldn't take care of her, and she was in and out of foster care. And it got really worse when she was become a teenager, and she was abused all kinds of different ways, and she was involved in the sex trafficking and the trades and stuff. Anyway, she somehow meticulously got her high school degree, and she got her college degree in nursing, and she went and did a nurse and so forth. But then they found out when she started having two children they at her point where she said, all right, here's your choices. Either keep your daughter, young daughter, or take care of your special needs son. She had to take care of her special needs son because he needed a full-time parent to take care of him.
That's messed up.
So yeah, that is really, 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 really sad. I can't implore you how bad that is. I'm soon going to have to end my.
You didn't tell me what the you said there.
Let me see here.
So isn't it kind of like don't they kind of contradict their own accusations by letting him stay here when they had nowhere to take him, but then taking him because they decide he still can't stay here?
There's nothing. They're just doing it because they know that you don't have an attorney that's good enough that's fighting them.
Oh no, well they're scared of the attorney.
Well, I guarantee if Vincent Davis gets involved, they're going to be more.
I'm sure they'd be more scared of him.
Let me see if I can get this. Attorney. All right, this was called the Historical Child Welfare Reforms and Family Law signed into law. Now, this was in Washington, D.C., and it was on, see, where was it done? It was done by the Way and Means Committee, and it was the, it's called the Supporting the American Child and Families Act, H.R. 7906. I want you to look that up, H.R. 7096. It strengthened the State and Tribal Child Enforcement Act, too, ICWA. Let me see what else it says here. It talked about kinship. I like that part. It improves access for Indian tribes by streamlining funding as well as monitoring state agencies with the Indian Child Welfare Act. It reduces administration burden by requiring the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to reduce paperwork and data reporting for state agencies and caseworkers by 15%. It supports expansion of evidence-based services to prevent child abuse and neglect and ensure children are not separated from their parents due to poverty. Addresses the caseworker crisis by ensuring caseworkers have access to training and support to improve retention and recruitment. It strengthens the support system for 2.5 million grandparents and relatives, that's like you, providing kinship care, which you're doing, for children who would not otherwise enter foster care. So it's a support system that kinship play a really important role. It improves the outcome to youth for questioning from foster care by including individuals who lived experiences formerly in foster care, in state service planning, and ensuring youth have access to mental health services. It has support post-adoption service requiring HHS to review post-adoption supports provided under Title 9-B and identifies opportunities for strengthening them. Anyway, you have to look up that HR 9076. That is something brand new.
7096?
Yeah, that's a lot of people don't know, but it's the new Health and Welfare Law of January 2025. Now,
okay, thank you for that. Before I go, can I ask you one last thing?
Sure, I'm going to have to do. Let me see. I'm trying to get to here. Okay. I got something new. I have to look at the CASA of Orange County because we've had troubles with CASA, which is supposed to be something that's supposed to, it's court appointed. I don't know what SA stands for. I forgot already. Go ahead and ask me that question because it's now after 8 o'clock. It's after 6 o'clock, and I have engagement at 6:30. So that's why I'm doing my podcast early. Go ahead.
Real fast. So basically, the CFS workers over a phone interview had given me and my children visitations once a week, and when the social worker that doesn't like our family or whatever found out about those after we already had 2 visits, she took them away. Can she do that without the judge being involved, or I mean,
there has to be a court order.
For no reason.
They can do it because you won't contest it. They know that parents are not very smart. All you have to do is,
I'm not even on the case.
Well, you can contest it by not giving your children. Are they your children or your sister's children?
My sister's children.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My children and me visiting with my sister's children because they all were raised together under the same roof.
Right. You should be allowed to do that. That is a wrong. That's a no-no. And I would go to that guy I gave you for San Bernardino and call his office direct. And if that doesn't work, then call Sacramento and talk to the civil rights coordinator. And if that doesn't work, then you're going to go and talk to President Trump's office at the White House. Area code 202 is the area code, and it's DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, headed up by Elon Musk. And you talk to them about how corrupt CPS in San Bernardino County, and they'll look into it. Right now, they're investigating social services, and CPS is a part of social services. And they're trying to find investigations, and CPS will eventually be caught. It's going to take time, but that's how you could do it.
Right.
You can look up doge.gov. It's on the internet, and you get the phone numbers. There's 2 phone numbers. You call them, it's working phone numbers. Also, you can call the civil rights coordinator in Sacramento for help in your matter, or the director in your county, in San Bernardino County. The guy called, I think I said it was Rand or something.
Rand, yes.
Yes, I think it was there. Rand, I think it was.
Okay, thank you so much. You've been so helpful. I appreciate you so much.
Well, I'm here twice a day, and I'll be again here tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning for 1 hour. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll be in again tomorrow night too. So just keep calling and you'll get all your questions. Now, don't forget, and hi, Dorothy Cook. Thank you for writing down HR 9076 and Dodge.gov. Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina, and she helps me all the time. And Danielle, thank you for being here from Georgia. And of course, Colina, who's talked to me from San Bernardino, California. But if you put your full name in your email and your phone number and text it to me at my number, 626-698-0990, I will set up a meeting with Mr. Davis, a private Zoom meeting. I'll send it off to my show producer who arrange a 15-minute private Zoom meeting with Mr. Davis, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll do that.
All right, so God bless you all. And this is Bob Pace saying, keep fighting. Morning at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. God bless you.